I think we can get started. The meeting is being recorded and we'll post it online tomorrow. Additionally, we will go out and canvass the block for more votes as well. But in the meantime, I just want to welcome everyone. My name is Kate.Summers. I am the Neighborhood Advisory Committee Coordinator at ACHIEVability, and I oversee our RCO. Community input in these decisions and zoning decisions is incredibly important. So we're so glad you all are here today. And so with that, I will hand it over to Mr. Anastasio.
Thank you. Please call me Vern. Please allow me to share my screen, okay?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Can everyone see?
Yeah.
All right, great. The application is for the legalization of a two-family household, duplex, basically. It is zoned RSA 5, but I'm going to offer evidence today and testimony that this has been a long-standing two-family dwelling. Let's just go through the layout of the property. The first floor has a porch, front porch, living room and kitchen, bath, and 2 bedrooms. And then the second floor has a living room and kitchen, a bath, and 2 bedrooms. The basement is unfinished, and it's for utilities and all the things that unfinished basements usually hold. Here's the property as it stands today. It's pretty handsome. It's in really good shape. It was renovated interior-wise by the seller. My client purchased it as the two-family dwelling, and that's the property as it stands. And the interior renovations, which were done by the prior owner. Here is the interior. As you can see, it's by no means dilapidated. It's actually a very nice property. Well appointed, wall-to-wall carpeting. There's 2 electric meters as well, 2 furnaces, 2 hot water heaters. And I'd like to take you, oh, and by the way, here's the flyer that went out to everyone. This was mailed by our mailing company that all the zoning law firms use, inviting them to not only the RCO meeting, but the ZBA on the 8th, but the ZBA hearing on November 10th at 9:30 a.m. Please take note. 160 households were mailed. And let me show you. My client purchased this property, again, thinking that it was a legal two-family dwelling. He has a local property manager who attempted to lease the space. As it turned out, there was no 2-unit rental license, and when he tried to apply for it, he realized that the variance that this property has secured had expired. And as you can see here, the history as far back as 1947 is a two-family dwelling. All the documentation that we have is for two-family. And let me just scroll through this one more time for you. Again, this is 1958, continued to be a two-family. So this use is consistent with the history of the property. However, we want to make sure that we are dealing with issues, current, more modern issues that deal with these properties. Trash for the first floor will be stored in the rear yard. Trash for the second floor unit, there will be a 42-gallon container on the front porch in the corner, discreetly placed, with a recycling bin for the second floor unit. So there should be absolutely no issues with trash. Bless you.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's okay. My client is also, as you can see, he rehabilitated and painted the front. He made sure that the lighting, safety lighting is working, and he also put in safety cameras as well. So we respectfully request that we just are able to legalize this two-family dwelling so that we can make sure that the only folks who live here are folks who we want living on that block. Without the actual zoning variance, we can't get a rental license for a two-family dwelling. And without a rental license for a two-family dwelling, it's incredibly difficult to evict someone if they're not a good neighbor. And that's why we're here. With that, I'm going to open up the questions for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. The first question I have, do you all, if it is approved, how much do you plan to rent the units out for?
Minaj, can you talk about the rents?
Yes, $975 for the top unit, which is smaller, and $1,000 for the bottom unit.
Thank you.
First floor.
Do we have other questions? And unmute. Other questions?
This is Crystal from Councilman Jones' office. Is your only option to place the trash bins on the porch?
Not necessarily. We think we could probably carve out something on the second floor unit to put the trash there inside the unit for storage. That would require us building out a little closet, but it's an option.
Just a little concerned how the neighbors are going to feel about that.
Well, in the past, there were two containers out there. And what I advised my client was that we remove one of those containers, put them in the backyard for the first floor unit. And the second floor unit, it would just be discreetly placed in the corner for the one container for the second floor unit. However, if you would prefer, if anyone would prefer, that we build out a trash closet or store the trash in the unit, that's something that we would certainly be open to. Yep. And it's something as late as this morning, Minaj will tell you, he and I talked about.
And so this unit has been a duplex since when?
At least the 1940s. And then again, we saw history in the 50s. So it's been quite some time.
And it's zoned as what right now?
RSA 5 is the underlying zoning. And at some point, the two-family variance expired, probably because it was empty for a while and did not renew, and whoever owned it did not renew their rental license.
Could you clarify what RSA 5 is?
Yeah, single family residential, which obviously this isn't. It has two separate utilities with respect to water and with respect to electric. But yes, the underlying zoning district is RSA 5, which is single family.
When did I hope I don't mess your name up. Minjay?
It's Minaj, ma'am.
Minaj.
Yeah.
Minaj.
Yes.
When did you purchase this?
February of 2020, ma'am.
Yeah, he just
February
purchased
20.
it right before the lockdown.
2020, yes.
Okay,
And
because I'm wondering, the councilman did a huge layover in the 4th district in this area to prevent the residential houses being chopped up into rooming and into duplexes that did not already exist. So that's why I asked the question as to when this was purchased. Thank you.
Yeah, and this was already, when he purchased it, it was already separated. Everything was it was done decades before. He's not trying to, he hasn't tried to, or will he not try to chop this up into anything? He just wants to legalize existing conditions which were there when he purchased.
And I guess my last question is, what was the feedback from the community of these? Would you send out 160 notices?
Yeah, my office mailed 162 flyers for 160 flyers for tonight's meeting, and
Okay.
that's why we're here.
Thank you.
Miss
Thank
Michelle,
you.
do you have a question?
I wanted to, he answered the question.
Okay.
I wanted to know what the rent was going to be for this income and for this area. And then, is that between Arch and Market?
The location.
Correct, ma'am.
It's between Arch and Market.
Market.
It has to be because that's the
Yes.
unit block.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's it, I guess, for right now.
Could you go back to the photo of the backyard?
Sure. Not much of a backyard, but large enough for trash containers.
So will that be enclosed?
I believe there's a fence around the yard. Is that right, Minaj?
That's correct. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. And how many signatures did you get from that area?
We've done no signatures. The first step is to have this meeting, to see how this goes, and then, you know, if my client needs to go door to door collecting signatures, you know, that's something that
So
he
did
would
you
do.
get a packet where you are supposed to be able to get the people to sign the petition? That's the protocol for when you come to the meeting, so we'll know. We can call the people up.
Since Zoom,
No.
since Zoom has happened, it's just changed slightly.
Oh,
So we rely on the receipts coming in from them doing the mailings, and if not enough people show up for the quorum, we go out on the street and do door to door.
Oh, okay. So the packet has changed. All right.
Yeah, the package has just changed slightly because of the Zoom.
Okay, I understand. Okay. So would it be better for them to put the trash bins in the back? Because we have a very bad rodent problem around in this area, raccoons and possums and, you know, and they get into people's trash when it's on the front. So
Yep, I mean,
that's why-
I think that's great advice. I've already advised my client that I was insisting that the first floor tenant put his trash in the yard instead of the front porch. The second floor tenant, if the porch storage is not amenable to the community or to the RCO, then he's going to need to make a carve out closet of some sort for that container to store trash. He understands that. Is that right? Is that right,
right,
Minaj?
because, yeah,
Yeah,
That's
okay,
correct.
that's right. We've
Yeah,
already discussed that. And I explained to him that I do 120 of these meetings a year, and that the primary concern with multifamily dwellings is trash and trash storage, especially in this city where litter is a problem. So he understands completely and is willing to do it as a proviso. But very good
that would be
recommendation.
advisable.
Thank you, Michelle.
Okay, that's all I have for right now.
Do we have any
Um,
other questions?
Hi, this is Ebony. Do you have like an intended renter you're looking for? Like who's your target audience for your renters?
Anyone who can pass the screening and can of course afford the rent. There's credit checks, of course, at all times with something like this, but As you can see, it's a beautiful property. It's been very well done. So we're hoping for someone who's going to care for the property. Otherwise, we don't want to keep them. But
My apologies.
there's no particular demographic.
Hi, this is Crystal Tan again from Councilman Jones' office. My apologies. What was the rent for the units?
I think you said 800 and 1,000 or Minaj?
975 for the second floor and then 1,000 for the first floor. Is that correct?
Or something
Okay,
like
and
that.
then my
Yeah.
additional question is, will he be offering 1 or 2-year lease before increase?
Yes. 1 year. If I ever increase.
And I'll tell you why I'm asking that question. Here in the city of Philadelphia, the HUD approved rental increase is based on an AMI that is the foundation is Montgomery County, and there is a $30,000 medium income difference between Montgomery County and Philadelphia. Okay, that particular AMI is people are moving into places like might have an $800 rent this year. But because of this HUD approved AMI and the fact that landlords can increase the rent, in another year or two, the person can't afford the rent. Okay. So that's why I asked whether or not this is going to be a single year, or I'm a renter in this same area. I've been in this area for 60 years of my life. And the landlord that I have right now, he gives us 2-year leases before any increase because he is aware of this AMI discrepancy, because that's a large discrepancy. So, you know, Mr. Minaj, just keep that in mind that, you know, when you start these rents at that, in a matter of 2 years, that person paying $800 might not be able to afford the unit and is out in the street looking for another unit again. So just wanted to add that little tidbit. Because I'm being challenged right now.
Thank
There's
you.
a lot of seniors who sold their homes, went into these units, and it's 2-3 years later, and now they cannot afford what they thought they could afford. So I just want us to keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great advice.
Hi, this is Ebony again. I just asked that initial question just about your target audience or demographic, specifically for the units. I know that within West Philadelphia, we do have a change in demographics. So just want you to be cognizant of that and also be cognizant of the culture as well. As someone who is studying city planning at Penn, you know, it's just something that we try to address with all of our developers and new homeowners within the city as well. So yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any final questions?
When are you getting ready to, this is Michelle. When will this, is the property done? Is it finished and ready for tenants?
Yes, it's ready for immediate occupancy. My client purchased it. It was completely renovated.
Oh, it was already renovated.
Yes, he did not do any of the renovations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he purchased it right before the lockdown on COVID, you know? So
Okay.
he bought it, then he realized he couldn't rent it out legitimately. So this is why we're going through the process.
And I actually lived there, man, for a long.
And he lived there when he bought it.
All right.
Okay, with that, so obviously we don't have a quorum to have it for votes, for the votes that come in tonight. It's just a few of the votes that will take place. We'll go canvass the block probably within the next week. But so my poll feature isn't working right now. So if people could either put in the chat or just if they're comfortable saying aloud yes or no, or a tentative yes, depending on what the neighbors say, please do that. So
Okay, and should we now leave? Since our part's
yeah.
over?
Yes, you all.
Okay. Thank you all for your hospitality, as always. A nice exchange, and I really appreciate it. I know Minaj does as well.
Yeah, and we'll be
Thank
in
you.
touch as well.
Goodbye now.
Take care.
Bye-bye.